bit of a EVO review. You know, I don't make many commentary videos anymore. I've been taking kind of a break this summer. But yeah, EVO happened, and you know, you got to talk about it, right? You can't just not talk about EVO. So yeah, and I would say a lot of what happened at EVO is definitely going to influence my channel because there's a lot of good stuff. Number one, yeah, I guess we'll just talk about like the finals. Honestly, a lot of the finals were a little disappointing for me because most of the top sixes were literally like perfect, but then you had Tekken, meltyblood, Mortal Kombat. They were all mirror match grand finals. And by the way, yeah, I decided to make this a Tekken video for the gameplay because I never really uploaded a full Tekken video, so this is just old footage from the beta test. So yeah, this is when I was trying out King. This is like, I've been playing King for like 20 minutes in this video. But yeah, I don't like the mirror match grand finals. I don't like, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. But I would say the grand finals up until the mirror match for that was pretty cool. Besides Mortal Kombat 11, I'm sorry, I just don't think that game is cool at all. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even watch Mortal Kombat 11. I only watched the grand finals. So yeah, I just skipped that for the most part. I probably saw like top 3 maybe. I'm trying to remember, but it was honestly forgettable. I'm sorry. But yeah, I watched Killer Instinct. That was pretty sick. And I don't play too much Killer Instinct. I have made a few videos on the channel. Yeah, I've been considering playing it because it's getting updates. But here's my problem, right? Here's my problem playing Killer Instinct. If I start playing Killer Instinct, right, and then the game gets updated, and it's like, yeah, Killer Instinct's back. Does this update mean that Killer Instinct is getting a new life? Or when this update comes out, are we just gonna go into nothingness for the rest of time? That's why I don't want, I'm kind of cautious about playing the game, because even though the game is sick, there's so many games right now that are getting updated constantly that I would rather put my time into instead of an old dead game that I don't have much connection to. Even though it is a great game, there's no reason for me to play it. But if it was gonna get new characters, it was gonna get updated, you know, 2 times a year, something like that, I would play it. But there's no indication of that right now. And the balance changes don't mean anything to me because I don't play it. You know, I don't even know who's good in that game. I probably have like, in total, like 10 hours on Killer Instinct, and I only just started playing it within the past year. I've always wanted to play it, but yeah, I don't play it too much. But if you do like Killer Instinct, I'm sure that was the greatest announcement on the planet. And for me, I hope that announcement turns into either a new game or updates for like the next 2 or 3 years at least. And then I would definitely play it if we were getting like new characters and stuff. Dragonballfighterz, I made a whole video on like 6 months ago talking about this, and pretty much the same thing happened. They're just disrespecting the game and the players, honestly. They just take you for a bunch of idiots. Yeah, I don't, it makes me mad because DragonBallfighterz is what really got me started on fighting games, and it's a great game. And the way they treat its community is crazy to me, you know? How successful DragonBallfighterz is, it should be still getting new characters. It should still be getting updates every few months. And rollback should not take... I mean, it might... Rollback, there is a genuine chance that rollback netcode comes out for fighters after Tekken 8 comes out. That's just crazy to me. Yeah, you wouldn't think that DragonBallfighterz is one of the most successful fighting games of this generation. You wouldn't think that by the way they've been treating it. It's laughable. And you know, I understand that there's issues when it comes to this type of stuff. That doesn't mean that you don't say anything until the day before EVO, you know? You should be giving updates on this every month, you know, because that's the type of player base Fighters has. It's not like it's a small player base, right? I mean, it's not a small player base. It's probably the biggest player base out of, besides like, you know, Street Fighter 6 or Tekken. So yeah, it's just weird to me. So yeah, disappointed in Fighters. I had hope for that game when they announced rollback, but I knew that they were gonna do something weird because Fighters deserved a lot more, right? It deserved to get constant DLC characters. It deserved to have costumes. The game didn't even have costumes, you know? It's not just your normal fighting game, you know? It's not guiltygearstrive. It's literally... How much did guiltygearstrive sell? Did it sell 2 million or 1 million? It sold 5 times the amount that guiltygearstrive did. It is a big game in terms of fighting games, and it got treated just the same as all the other fighting games for the most part. And I would argue that guiltygearstrive got better support than DragonBallfighterz did. I mean, think about it. It's about to be on its 3rd season. It's in the first season alone of guiltygearstrive, I believe that it got more stages added to it than all of DragonBallfighterz life. I think DragonBallfighterz only had 1 stage added to it. guiltygearstrive has had, you know, a bunch of characters. They've literally added, I mean, they're about to add 2 new mechanics and new moves to every single character. Yeah, it's just, it got treated way better than Fighters, and Fighters did so much more. So, you know, I'll never forget how they treated Fighters throughout its life. They treated it like a small fighting game. They gave it a lot of DLC characters and some updates, but that was it. They gave you the bare minimum when it was something special, you know? And here they are, you know, still treating it like it's not a big deal that they just delayed rollback again, you know? Anyways, moving on to guiltygearstrive. I've stopped playing guiltygearstrive because, honestly, yes, the game gets a lot of characters, the game gets updates, but it's a very frustrating game. You know, playing against a character like Mei, and all the, like, Ram, Mei, even Gold Lewis, even though Gold Lewis is, you know, a little bit harder to play than those characters, when you just play against them, it's just like, come on, man, like, and then add it on top with the fact that most DLC characters that came out in, I'm just gonna say it, Season 2 of guiltygearstrive is why I stopped playing the game. Because for me personally, I'm someone who likes characters to be cool, like the DLC characters. I like it when DLC characters come out, and it's a character that I want to play. Bridget is lame. Sin was cool, but he was just bad. Bedman is lame. And that man was lame. You know, and for me personally, I made a video on this like a year ago or something about the characters I want the most, and I always said I really wanted Order Soul, Slayer, or Johnny. And finally we're getting Johnny. I've always liked Johnny a lot, but I've never played him because he's just super hard to play, and especially for a controller player. I mean, I know you can play any character on any fighting game with controller, right? It doesn't matter what type of controller you use. But Johnny is just... It's hard for me, alright? And I always thought he was the coolest character in Guilty Gear by far. Even just, at least in Rev 2. I mean, just the stuff he did looked so sick. But he is a very hard character. He's not brain dead, right? So, I know that guiltygearstrive, you can like the game, but it is a brain dead game compared to Rev 2. But that's good for me, because that probably means Johnny is going to be a lot easier to play. He might still be hard, but he ain't going to be like he was before, you know? So, hey, I think I'm going to make a comeback to the Guiltygearstrive. At the same time, though, I saw that move that they gave May. You know, I saw what they gave May. I saw what they gave Ram. Those moves legitimately could make me stop playing the game. So we'll have to see how bad they get, but yeah, I'm very interested in playing Guiltygearstrive again after seeing Johnny. However, the game Johnny and all that update stuff comes out literally the day before Armored Core, so I'll have to consider it, you know. But yeah, great stuff for Guilty Gear, lots of changes, and you love to see it. So here we are with Mortal Kombat. Me personally, I think that I'm going to skip the Mortal Kombat beta this weekend because you have to pre-order the game to get the beta, or not this weekend, it's the next weekend, I believe. You have to pre-order the game to get the beta, and that's just super lame to me because if you don't know, the beta is the exact same beta as before that I've uploaded on this channel, except it has 2 new characters and I think 2 new cameos. It's almost the exact same game. To me, a beta is minimum 10 playable characters. Yeah, that should be a beta. I mean, the game is going to come out literally a month after that beta. So yeah, I know that the movement changes are going to be there. It's going to be a different feeling game. But personally, I just don't want to rush myself to spend that much money, because I'm definitely going to buy the deluxe edition of the game, and I think that's $110, you know. And I'm not going to rush myself to spend $110 as soon as Armored Core comes out, just because there's a Mortal Kombat beta, you know. There's not enough stuff in there to make me want to do that. Yeah. So, but the stuff that they showed, the reptile trailer was amazing. Because Havoc, let me just say this, I've never wanted to play more characters in a Mortal Kombat game. I want to play Reptile, I want to play Havoc, I want to play Johnny, I want to play Scorpion, I want to play Smoke, I want to play Ermac, I want to play Omni-Man, I want to play Homelander, I want to play Quan Chi, I want to play Takeda. Like, these are all characters that I loved in MKX, or, you know, some of them were in MKX, but the ones that were, they were super sick, you know. And the guest characters are sick. I love Invincible, and I love The Boys. I think they're both amazing shows, although they are very similar characters, but I feel like they can be different enough. You know, who else am I missing? I'm trying to think of what other characters were revealed that I want to play. Oh, I want to play Shang Tsung because he's cool. I want to play so many characters, and I never felt that way about Mortal Kombat 11, you know. There were a lot of cool characters in Mortal Kombat 11, but you knew how they were going to turn out, and it was just kind of like, nah. So anyways, yeah, not much to say there, because obviously those characters won't be playable. It'll just be the same as the other beta, plus Lee May and Johnny. Not super exciting, so I think I will skip out on it. But I'm definitely, obviously, going to be playing the game, and I'm going to be playing it early, because I'm going to get the early access with the deluxe edition, because, yeah, I mean, you want to talk about... Okay, let's get something straight. I'm feeling a little upset about the Street Fighter 6 DLC, because Aki looks like she's gonna play like Fang, and Fang is the character I hate more than any other character in Street Fighter. I think he is the lamest character to ever exist in a Street Fighter game. Rashid. I know I never said this on this channel, but I've been saying it on Twitter. Rashid is the most awkward, clunky character to play in the whole game. I hate playing him. I don't like Rashid. He could be good, but he's just so awkward and clunky to learn. I just don't want to deal with it. So we have Rashid, who I don't like, and Aki, who the odds are against her right now. I don't like her. Based off of Fang, I don't like her. And yeah, so then we have Ed. I don't like Ed in Street Fighter V. However, a boxing character in Street Fighter 6 might be sick. And Akuma is Akuma. Akuma is always cool. Meanwhile, we have the Mortal Kombat DLC. We have Quan Chi. Quan Chi is sick. Ermac is always the sickest. Takeda is literally the coolest character, like, ever. We have Peacemaker, which is... I don't know much about Peacemaker. He might just be generic shooty man, but maybe he's not. Then we have Omni-Man and Homelander, who are both characters I want to play. I want to play every single character in that combat pack. Meanwhile, the Street Fighter DLC has been made me a little worried. Because I really like DLC characters when they come out. They're fun to play, they're cool, and they're not trash. They don't have to be the best character in the game, but I don't want them to be trash. And Rashid, he was just not fun to play. He was super awkward and frustrating. Things that should work on Rashid just don't work. And it makes no sense. So, yeah, and I hope the other characters aren't like that. For the sake of uniqueness, they sacrificed your mental health, and they just made it really frustrating. And I hope they don't do that with Aki, and I hope they don't do that with Ed, and they better not do that with Akuma. But yeah, it is definitely upsetting that I paid that much money for DLC, and I don't even want to play Rashid, and Aki, it ain't looking good for her. So, yeah. Meanwhile, I don't mind paying $110 for the deluxe edition of Mortal Kombat, because every single character in that combat pack has been cool before, or they're a sick guest character, you know? So I don't mind it. And that's what I want to say about Street Fighter 6. I know I haven't talked about Rashid much, I just don't like him, and I just hope they don't do that again. Because that's what they started doing that with guiltygearstrive. They're making weirdo characters that just were frustrating to learn, and it made me not want to play them. So, and that's why I stopped playing guiltygearstrive, because I just kept doing that. You know, why do I want to play Bedman? He's not cool at all, he's lame, and he's just goofy to play. So, like, why would I put up with it if I just don't like him, you know? A character can be lame looking and super cool and fun to play. But the problem with guiltygearstrive is they want to make weirdo, you know, mechanics for these characters while also having them look stupid. So it's just really, you know, it's hard. And that's why I stopped playing Street Fighter 6, or guiltygearstrive, and I hope that's why I don't stop playing Street Fighter 6. Because the base game of Street Fighter 6 is amazing. However, the DLC, oh, if you don't know, oh, let's get into the DLC. So if you don't know, also announced at EVO, there is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover in Street Fighter 6. And it allows you to take your created character and give them Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costumes. I'm going to switch to Grand Blue gameplay here because I want to have that. I did play the Grand Blue beta. I don't like Grand Blue that much, but the beta was cool, you know, so here's some footage of that. Yeah, anyways, if you don't know, it costs $15 for one turtle costume. So if you want all 4 of them, that is $60. You can't use these costumes on the main roster at all. You can only use them on your created character. Absolutely disgusting, right? So here we have Rashid, a character who I would say is not well received. Yes, he looks amazing. There is no complaints on the visual side of what he does at all. But most people can say he is very weird feeling. You can like the weirdness, but he does not make sense like the rest of the roster does. And that made me worried. And then we have Aki, who is like Fang 2.0, and obviously he's like the lamest character ever, so that's worrying. But then we have $60 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costumes that you can't even use on the main roster. I don't want to say this because it is really early to say this. Is Street Fighter 6 gonna reverse Street Fighter 5? Like how Street Fighter 5 at the beginning was a ripoff and it became good? Is Street Fighter 6 gonna be godlike at the start and then just become kind of scummy? Because I'm not gonna lie, and I made a video complaining about this. It was $50 for the season pass, and the season pass only included 4 characters. Yeah, you get their costumes too. But why does it matter if you get their costumes when a character like Rashid exists and you don't even want to play Rashid, you know, and you don't even want to play Aki? $50 was just crazy to me. So, yeah. And yeah, you get 2 stages as well, I believe, but overall, the season pass was expensive. I don't think anything. But I did it because here's the thing. The game is not bad. The game is literally like perfection. That's why I'm not too mad about it. But here we are with crossover skins that are really cool, and it's $60. And if you want to buy the extra stuff with the bundle, you want to buy everything in the crossover, right? It will cost you $100 in total for everything. I mean, Street Fighter V is known as the game that really made Capcom money hungry and scummy. And these prices are worse than anything they've ever released. So it's just weird to me. So will we not be getting crossover skins for the main roster? Is our crossover skins only for our created characters? And with that being said, are they always going to be this expensive? Yeah, so just... That's all I gotta say about that. Street Fighter V is getting worrying to me because I don't like Rashid and because Aki's a weirdo. And then now they're doing this EA levels of microtransactions on this crossover. Like, what has happened? But yeah. I want to say, I know I don't upload it, but I do still play Street Fighter 6 every single day. So I do want to say that. But yeah. What else is there? Mortal Kombat. Oh, Tekken characters. Both Tekken characters are super sick. If you don't know, the Tekken 8 roster did get leaked. I'm not going to talk about it, but I want to say personally, I'm not excited at all. I think the Tekken 7 roster... no, the Tekken 8 roster is... I don't want to say it without spoiling it. I'm not going to. I'm not going to say it, but just know I'm not happy with the Tekken 8 roster at all. And Azucena and Raven might have saved the game for me. Because if that's the roster we're getting, there's nobody exciting on there for me. They're all expected characters, you know, for the most part. Most of them are just expected characters. So the fact there's a new character coming out that is really sick, that's nice. Yeah. What else is there? So Tekken 8 stuff was cool, although I'm a little sad about the leaks, because, like I said, I don't like the roster that much. Mortal Kombat stuff was amazing. Great trailer. Street Fighter stuff was very cool when it got announced, but it's very worrying now. I mean, it's not worrying. It already came out, and it's terrible. I mean... You've got to be mentally crazy to spend $15 in a turtle costume. Did you know? You may not like the game, but did you know that you could buy Injustice 2 and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle DLC that allows you to play as all 4 turtles for cheaper than 1 turtle costume in Street Fighter 6? Did you know that? So yeah, maybe you should have done that if you bought a turtle costume. Get your refund. Get your refund and go buy Injustice 2, and you can play as all 4 of the characters, and they have a full moveset. You're not just going to be playing as your created character that looks like a turtle, you know? So yeah, there's that. What else is there? I think I might end the video. I think that's my EVO review. Overall, EVO itself, I have to give a solid 10 out of 10. It was amazing all the way through. Every single game was great. Even if some grand finals were lame, every single game was great. All the announcements were amazing, regardless of how you feel about them. There were a lot of announcements, and they were great for their specific games. Like I said, I do think Street Fighter 6 had the worst announcements. Even though it had the best game at EVO, I think it had the worst announcements. Because of what became of them, you know. We now know that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is EA levels of greed. And we know that Aki had no gameplay. It was cool to see what she looked like, but all I saw was her doing fang movements, and that scares me. Yeah, overall, it's a great EVO, you know? It was a great EVO, and I'm sad it's over. But, in reality, there's only one thing that matters. When is Marvel 4? Look, man, you could have an EVO with 0 announcements. As long as it had Marvel 4 at some point, it's the greatest EVO of all time, I'm sorry. But, it'll never happen. Yeah. I think I'm gonna make a Marvel 4 video, eventually. Just talking about why it's not gonna happen. Because, and I think, maybe I'm weird, but I think Street Fighter 6 has a lot to do with that. Besides, you know, them ruining their relationship with Marvel because of MVCI, I think if they were to fix that relationship, I don't think they could make another one because of Street Fighter 6, but maybe I'm wrong. I'll elaborate that more in a separate video, but for now, you know, EVO, 10 out of 10, great trailers. It's making me want to play Guilty Gear again. It's making me want to play Killer Instinct. It's making me want to play Marvel again. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. A bit of a long video, but you know what? EVO's only once a year, you know, so it's worth it. Anyways, yeah, like, subscribe. I'm gonna... I don't do many commentary videos anymore, but I will do more later. It's just that now I'm kind of like taking a break and uploading stuff that would get more viewership because videos like this take a long time to make and they don't get as much viewership, but I just want to have it just to have it, you know.